Tonight on DC News Now, tracking a wintry mix. Chief Meteorologist Jackie Layer with what to expect as you head out the door tomorrow morning.
By in advance of getting the weather here, because once it's here, it's tough to get out and it's a little bit dangerous.
Some parts of the DMV preparing for snow. How the region is getting ready ahead of the first flakes.
Positive news for a National Guardsman shot in D.C.
We were told that he also wiggled his toes. So we take that as a positive sign.
Plus, how the attack is sparking national debate over U.S. immigration policy.
Cyber Monday deals what could be too good to be true. We're helping you stretch your dollar to avoid getting ripped off.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 6 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. We are tracking this wintry mix headed our way. Let's take a live look at the radar and the roads. And you can see 270 in Hagerstown, Maryland, as well as I-18 out there in Winchester, Virginia. Some brake lights there, folks headed home. But as we're looking at the radar, you are set to be a little cognizant of what's happening early hours as we're set to see the mix of snow, rain, and freezing rain that could be impacting your commute. All
right, so for the latest on that, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Jackie Layer. And Jackie, how widespread are we talking?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a little bit more of that wintry mix to then rain closer towards D.C., farther off towards the north and west, more so wintry mix and snow. We do have those winter weather advisories. Those are for north and west of the district. Those go into effect at 1 o'clock in the morning and hold through about late morning into the early afternoon, really dependent on location. So back out towards northern Montgomery County, that one holds till 10 o'clock in the morning. Farther out towards the west, talking at least till midday for Culpeper. Then farther out towards western Maryland, that winter weather advisory holds until 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. The radar here locally, it is quiet for now. That won't be the case into tomorrow morning as we're watching our system back out towards the west continue to push its way into our area as we look towards the overnight and into tomorrow morning's commute. So again, heads up into tomorrow morning as we do anticipate that wintry precipitation to push in. We're looking as early as 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning out towards the west, starting off as snow, western Maryland. Some of that wintry mix already starting to push into, say, Culpeper and the orange areas. Temperatures will be hovering just right around the freezing mark or slightly above it. Notice closer towards the Beltway, rain and just a little bit more of that wintry mix north and west of the Beltway, around 6 to 7 o'clock in the morning. Then we have that rain snow line continuing to fade its way off towards the north, but right into northernmost parts of our area, looking at that freezing rain and snow potentially through at least 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So more details on this. Also look ahead towards the rest of that 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Jackie, we'll see you then. Meanwhile, crews across the DMV are gearing up for the winter blast, and people, well, they're getting ready for what could be a messy morning commute. DC News Now's Liberty Simmons shows us how they're preparing.
Well, we already saw VDOT crews have begun brining the roads here in Chantilly in anticipation of that wintry mix, and drivers are bracing for impacts to the morning commute.
Right in time of the morning commute.
Crews are out in full force treating lanes of highway ahead of winter weather moving in tonight into Tuesday morning.
Stay behind our snowplow operations because they're literally clearing a path for you and treating the road behind you.
Maryland Department of Transportation is working to brine about 18,000 lane miles, while stores in D.C. are stocking up on cold weather supplies.
We're just trying to make sure that we have everything that our community could need, ice melt, shovels, got to keep warm as well.
Logan Hardware ordered ice melt and other winter equipment months in advance.
It's always good to buy early, buy in advance of getting the weather here, because once it's here, it's, tough to get out and it's a little bit dangerous.
This customer says he's going to need some ice melt before the storm moves in.
Just some precautionary things like just getting some salt just to be sure that I don't slip on the entryway or something like that,
Though he's not looking forward to the rain and icy mix expected in D.C., he is waiting eagerly for the region's first round of snow.
I'm just looking forward to it because we don't get that much, so it's nice just to see some snow come our way.
Now, MDOT also says it has a storm map available on its website so you can track snow crews in real time and get updates for any crashes before you hit the roads. For now in Chantilly, Liberty Simmons, DC News Now.
And we, of course, will have you covered as you head out the door tomorrow morning. Download the DC News Now weather app by scanning the QR code here in the middle of your screen, or go to our website, dcnewsnow.com. Meteorologist Scott Sumner keeping you updated on Sunrise on the Hill starting tomorrow at 6 a.m.
A growing memorial in the district for the 2 National Guard members shot last week. This is outside of Farragut West Metro Station. Specialist Sarah Beckstrom died from her injuries, while West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey says that Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf remains in serious condition, but showing some really positive signs here. He says the 24-year-old gave a thumbs up, that he could hear a nurse's question, and wiggled his toes.
Yeah, some good news indeed. The brazen attack has changed D.C.'s law enforcement landscape while investigators search for a motive. D.C. News Now's Randy Bass has the latest on this developing situation.
West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey with an update on National Guard member Andrew Wolf, still in serious condition 5 days after he was shot downtown.
Andrew was asked if he could hear, and he did respond, and we were told that he also wiggled his toes. So we take that as a positive sign.
President Trump last night said he had talked to Wolf's family and the family of the late Sarah Beckstrom, inviting them to the White House.
Andrew is fighting for his life. I said, when you're ready, because that's a tough thing, come to the White House, we're going to honor Sarah. And likewise with Andrew, recover or not.
People stopping by a growing memorial at 17th and I Streets, leaving flowers, flags, crosses, and prayers for Sarah Beckstrom and Andrew Wolf.
This is not who we are. I have a daughter her age, and I am just very deeply distraught for this young woman and her family. And the National Guard that have been here have been great. Nobody deserved this.
Today, DC News Now cameras saw National Guard members alongside DC Police in DuPont Circle, as the department says it's working in close coordination with the Guard, and the city awaits the arrival of 500 more National Guard troops ordered by the Trump administration last week. It's not clear when they could arrive or where they'll come from.
I don't think it's necessary. Frankly, my opinion is that the National Guard is not needed. And to bring in 500 more, as the president is proposing, brings in 500 more targets for some crazy people, frankly.
As for the suspect in this case, Romanula Lakanwal, he is now facing first-degree murder charges in Sarah's death. The U.S. Attorney's Office told us today once he is medically able to appear before a judge, he will be presented. No timeline for that, though, at this point. In Northwest, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
What's that? All right. Again, that was our Randy Bass reporting. President Trump, meanwhile, says he has invited the families of the National Guard members shot to visit the White House. He says he spoke to them and plans to honor the soldiers.
Andrew is fighting for his life. And his parents are unbelievably great people, highly religious people. And they're praying, and they want everybody to pray for Andrew. I spoke with Sarah's parents, too, and the only thing I can say, they were devastated. I said, when you're ready, because that's a tough thing, come to the White House, we're going to honor Sarah. And likewise with Andrew, recover or not.
Well, the White House, meanwhile, says it's considering deporting the family of the man accused of shooting the guardsman. The suspect's wife and 5 children live in Washington state and would be sent to Afghanistan. Now, back in April, he was granted asylum by the feds. Our Vinay Simlat is on Capitol Hill. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll have more and possible changes to immigration policies.
Now to several major arrests and a triple murder tied to this house fire earlier this month in Western Maryland. State police say that Darnell Hawkins and Tony Smith are both charged with first-degree murder and arson. And a third man and a woman are charged in connection with those murders. Investigators say they found the 3 victims were killed in the Clear Spring home on November 18th, and their injuries were not consistent with a fire. They also say police dogs found accelerant was used there at the home. Neighbors are recalling this really intense investigation.
Government vehicles, FBI, and they were actually here with a drone. I mean, they were working tirelessly. It was kind of good to see that.
Investigators say that the 3 victims, 2 women and a man, all lived in that home, and they're awaiting autopsy results for more details on how they died. Now, the 4 suspects are all being held without bond, and police anticipate more arrests to come.
All new tonight, police say a man has now died 2 weeks after he was hit by a car in Springfield, Virginia. Fairfax County police say Marcos Ramirez died Friday. He was hit while crossing Old Keene Mill Road on November 16th. Police say the driver did stay on scene. So far, no charges have been filed against that driver.
DC News Now is your local election headquarters. The race for mayor in the district just started heating up with council member Janice Lewis-George announcing her run on social media.
Neighbors, our families under attack because we are failing to stand up to defend them. That's not the DC I know. That's why I'm running for mayor. Because it's time we had leaders who fight for the people, who stand up to corruption and greed, and stand with the people who make DC work.
George growing up in D.C. and has represented Ward 4 since 2021. She says her campaign will really focus on public safety and economic issues like affordable housing. Mayor Muriel Bowser just last week dropping that bombshell. She was not running for a fourth term.
An attorney is throwing his name in the running for Ward 6 D.C. council seat. Michael Murphy says he is challenging incumbent Charles Allen in next year's primary. Murphy says he's running over growing concerns about crime, sustainable progress, and continued development.